Town 13 came out, and since then, like, it kind of got forgotten at some point. But this strategy is insane. I want to show you guys today a little bit more about it, and the reason for this is that when I uploaded my mass witch attack strategy, were like a couple of you guys with like this strategy with not a lot, like 200 trophies, but for a couple of you it is quite a bit having 200 trophies on offense on average. So I want to show you guys exactly on how to use this strategy. The best thing about this strategy is you do not use any healers, so you don't care about black mines. Like, whenever there's an obvious entry and you think that this might be stacked with black mines, like for example on this base, I know a lot of black mines are around the eagle, a lot of traps are around the eagle. We don't care, we don't use such things as healers because we're not stupid. We don't take the risk of actually having at some point a complicated attack strategy. So what you're doing over here is you have overall this one P.E.K.K.A, 8 witches, 14 bowlers and 5 ice golems. What you're doing on this one is always the same idea. Have the P.E.K.K.A on the one side, have the P.E.K.K.A from the siege barracks on the other side, and then in between the 5 ice golems, all of your witches and the bowlers. On this one I even use this wonderful, really wonderful placed 1-layer jumps to get into the base, and then earthquake. One thing which is really important, do not try to activate the tunnel with the earthquake. This is freaking important. The next thing is you do not need to activate or to open up the tunnel compartment because you have mainly ranged troops. Like, you have the ice golems, and except that you have ranged troops like witches and bowlers, and you do not need to open up the tunnel compartment. Then obviously a wonderful, wonderful warden ability to make sure that all of the troops are not dying. And at this point we have just the raw power of our witches and bowlers left in the core. The Royal Champion is around at the bottom side. We have still 1 freeze left, and this base got wrecked. Like, and this base is not like even a bad base or anything. This base was super powerful a couple of months ago, and there are new versions out there where you can exactly do the same thing. And it's just insane. So whenever you guys had any problems with ring bases, this strategy is your way to go. So one quick reminder once again. Funnel on both flanks with the P.E.K.K.A and the siege barracks P.E.K.K.A, and then kind of in between the jump and the earthquake. Obviously you have to kind of decide if you're first using the earthquake on the outside and then in the inside the jump, or the other way around. On this one, I wanted to have the wide entry in the core. This is why I used the earthquake over there. But that's basically it. After that, you have to kind of spread out the ice golems, draw a line with the witches, draw a line with the bowlers, put your heroes in behind, and that's it. So let's take a look at the next base. And we have actually 3 freaking multi-inferno tower against us, which is probably one of the worst things you can ask for when you're doing a witch attack. Like, I guess all of us can agree on that. And on this one, it's once again kind of the same story. I know most of the traps are at the top side, but for us, really important is to take out the splash damage first. The splash damage needs to go out first, which are the scatter shots. Those need to be taken down as early as possible. At the moment, I'm kind of thinking, where should I use my earthquake? Where should I use my jump? I'm not thinking about where should I why should I use it inside, why on the outside? In the end, I decide for using the earthquake on the outside to have a really nice far entry point into the base, so I can spread my troops on the outside a little bit better, because then it's less likely that they're getting clumping up and getting hit by the double scatter shot. So I spread the troops out, obviously, have the P.E.K.K.A at the top side, the siege barracks at the bottom side, because then the wizards of the siege barracks can take care of the cannon and is pushing everything back in, and then the jump into the core. We have 3 freezes overall. We do not need a freaking poison because we have witches. Like, who cares about the clan castle if you have witches in your army composition? That's the nicest thing about this. So we have 3 freezes overall. Make sure to use them to kind of make those multi-inferno towers completely useless. That's how you can easily work around multi-inferno towers. Then obviously the warden ability, I have decided to use it early because I wanted to enter the core with as many troops as possible, and because I saw a couple of troops were splitting off to the bottom side. I feel like if they are surviving and my queen and the royal champion can clear out the core, this is going to be the next triple, and that's exactly what is going to happen. The king on the outside is still alive, there are a couple of Mohawk riders, and that's it. Now you guys might wonder, Itsu, why exactly did you use the royal champion at the top side, not at the bottom side? The answer for this is because at the top side there were no heroes. Like, you always want to dodge the enemy heroes with your royal champion. You do not have any headhunters in this army composition. You do not have any like complicated techniques in this army composition. You just want to enter at the base, enter at the side with your I don't even know how to call it, like just Ice Age army, and then you want to have the royal champion normally in behind of the Hawk Riders. And if there are enemy heroes around the Hawk Riders, then you want to switch sides kinda to make sure that the royal champion is staying alive for longer. That's kind of the idea. That's how we keep rolling and getting those 3 stars in. So let's take a look at the next base in a second. One more quick reminder, I used the siege breaks at the bottom side because I wanted to get rid of the cannon, which is the second layer. With the P.E.K.K.A, for example, I would have not gotten that. So that's why I used the P.E.K.K.A on the left, the siege breaks at the bottom. Next base, and this is a teaser base, and those corner town hall bases are freaking annoying for the strategy because normally you want to have like a long side where you can enter in, and that's it. On this one we have to be a little bit sneaky. So first off, we have the earthquake. I want to use the earthquake to damage all of those high HP buildings, which is town hall, tons of expos, scatter shots, inferno tower, all of those things. But because we do not want to have the town hall activated too early, well, we just use the earthquake a little bit later, not at the beginning of the attack. So what we're doing is starting the siege breaks off early at the bottom side, then funneling at the top side with our king and the P.E.K.K.A, and then witches and bowlers in between. That's how it works. So siege breaks at the bottom side, ice golems in behind, witches in behind, bowlers in behind, heroes in behind. Everything plays as fast as possible, and this is one of the most, I guess, how do you say, most difficult parts about the strategy, that you need to place everything kind of quickly. That's like everything which is actually hard at this strategy. And after that, just the earthquake. Obviously, you need to have like somewhat of like placing the earthquakes at the right angle or like at the right location. Then freezing at the top side. We have 2 more freezes, royal gem at the bottom side. Hawk Riders are sadly not, like I was hoping that the Hawk Riders would go to the bottom, but instead they're going to the bomb tower. That's what Hawk Riders are doing, those annoying hogs. Now we have 1 more freeze. I freeze it for the royal champion, even though, I mean, I have to use the royal champion ability anyway, but it's a little bit more damage. And guys, we still have tons of witches left. There is no more splash damage. I still have my queen ability, and this is going to be the next 3-star. So you might think, okay, this got kind of close, to be honest, right? But if you're counting those witches, 1 is at the top, 3 are at the bottom, 1 is close to the queen. So we have at least 5 witches alive, which is quite a bit. And not even like we have 5 out of 8 witches alive, which is not a close attack. It is instead, once again, a crazy overkill. And you see, we can basically swag the queen ability at this point. And this attack strategy, like I said, whenever you said you have problems getting good at Clash of Clans, or like having you're having problem at having success in Clash of Clans, use this strategy. I promise to you that you will get at least 200 trophies a day with this strategy. It's just super straightforward. Like, try to learn a little bit more about when to use which spell, kinda like earthquake on the outside, jump in the inside, when to use the freezes, stuff like that. But except that this strategy is super freaking easy to use. Like, there's nothing complicated in there, like a queen charge, Cocooloons. You have to think, is this a bait or something? Like, we went straight into the town hall where the most traps are, the tornado, everything. And since we don't run any healers, we can't get baited actually. Like, it's stupid. But let's take a look at the next base, which is once again one of those corner town hall bases. So that's always the bases where this strategy is struggling the most with, because you need to enter into the base at a corner, which is not the best for the strategy. You normally want to enter at a long side, like I already said. But on this one, let's think about what we could actually do. Obviously, we need to enter into the town hall. We do not have a safe blimp or whatever. We need to enter into the town hall. So what we're doing over here is I will use Ice Golem at the left side to funnel, and then I will use the Siege Breaks really far on the right side to make sure that the Hawk Riders are going over there and there are no heroes. So I can use the Royal Champion and the Hawk Riders to basically clear the entire top side. So as long as my Ice Age is getting the bottom side, we're totally fine. By the way, for all of those guys who never heard me talking about Ice Age is the name, or like is how I call this strategy, because like I'm not 100% sure if I was actually the guy who was coming up with it, but at least I was the guy who was the first, I think, doing YouTube videos about this for Town Hall 13, because like I did it at the first day. So yeah, since then it's kind of like strategy which I created with you guys on stream as well. So Ice Age is the name of this. And now let's take a look at this attack, because on the right side the Hawk Riders are coming out, so we add the siege barracks. We're using the freezes to somehow make sure that the scatter is not killing our Royal Champion or the Hawk Riders. And then meanwhile we have those Witches and Boulder army on the left side. We will just rage that, and then we'll just keep freezing all of the other things which could be somehow dangerous for us. I missed the scatter because I'm a pro at freezing, so you guys know you don't even need to hit your freezes. But anyway, so we have the Hawk Riders, the Royal Champions at the top side. We will finish off this base. We have still plenty of Witches on the left side. We have the Queen ability, which we can use in a second with the Royal Champion ability, just got used. And that's just the next triple. That's how easy it can be with this strategy. So whenever you had any issues with any strategies in Clash of Clans, go for this one and you won't have any problems again, kinda. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. This was the last attack which I want to show to you guys, but now before you're turning off the video, one more thing. And that's, now you guys could say, Itsu, you obviously just picked the bases where this strategy worked. Like, that's kind of easy to say as a viewer, right? Because I have the power to cut the video, I can like make you guys think that I triple like really perfectly. But I will show you guys my attack history, like the battle log. And actually I went 4 or 5. The one time where I did not triple is because I recorded all of this in German first. And I did the live recording, like live talking over it. So I did like the live attacks. And when I did that and tried to explain everything, I just straight up forgot to use my warden ability, because I was like, hey guys, and you have to use this here and use this, that, and whatever. So I just straight up forgot the warden ability, and this is not the best thing to happen. So even without the warden ability, we got an 81% 2-star. So that's not too shabby, I think. So overall, this attack went crazy well. Let me guys know how you feel about this strategy. And that's it for today. I hope I see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see you guys, and thank you so much for watching. Until then,